I'll be very quick. I'll try to be quick. I was very happy to be presented this topic to talk about Sri Aurobindo Mother. I myself am a devotee of the Mother. My mom, myself, my family. When we were in Chennai, I grew up in Chennai, so I grew up visiting her ashram quite a lot. Like every few months, once we would be at Pondicherry to go visit the Mother. She continues to give me she continues to guide through her presence and just by being there with her. This is the ashram, this is where we go to. This is the Aurobindo ashram. I'll give you a little bit about what this ashram is and what she does, but we visit here quite often, and what we do is inside there are samadhis of both Aurobindo and the Mother. And you have to maintain complete silence there once you go there, and just sitting in that place and just meditating on yourself and thinking about the Mother and the Aurobindo to guide you. It will give you a lot of answers to the questions that you're seeking for, and also at least give you clarity to what you are thinking about. And I also have her book, which I carry with me. Anand and I, we have lived in like 6 other countries so far, and this book has been with us all the time. This is called The White Roses. It contains a lot of writings, and it is in her own handwriting. This is about everything that she has wrote in letters to one of her disciples called Huta. And every time we are into crossroads in our life, or if there is our decisions to be made, or if there is some inner clarity that is needed, I always pray, and then I open up a page, and for some reason you will find your answer there. I welcome for everybody to try it out yourself as well. I just want to open up now and just see what is written here in this. We can wait with a little patience and we shall see. So it just says that. What is the effect of the realizing power on the Mother's own physical being, and then the effect upon others and the world in general, including the outstanding problems of the world today? And then the answer is, we can wait with a little patience and we shall see. So that's basically what she says. So suddenly, maybe I'm thinking about something like, why are things not happening immediately or something, right? So she's saying there's a lot of problems in this world, but you have to wait patiently. So maybe that is the answer she's giving me. So I always find an answer in this book. The book is called White Roses. So this is the ashram. This is the front of the ashram. It's in Pondicherry, very close to, if you've been to Pondicherry before, this is very close to Manakola Vinayakar temple. So pretty close to that area. So, and then how to play this?
Just hover around it and you can play it.
And if you have heard the song, and anybody who grew up in Tamil Nadu, if you have listened to Vijay TV early in the mornings at 5:30, Ilayaraja's voice, this is the first thing that comes in that channel in Vijay TV. Is it playing?
It's just downloading.
No, it's just playing. It's playing. No, it's playing.
I'll start. So this is the first song that plays on Vijay TV every day. Even now it plays. It's been playing for I don't know how many years now. This is the first song that comes, and even in our household, typically the day starts with this song coming in the TV first. My dad would start the day with this song playing on Vijay TV. It just says, like, you have the heart of a flower. That's basically what the song says. And this is the Mother. She's again, we've seen this in a lot of our previous presentations. She's not Indian. She came from somewhere else. But then she made India the home and she worked for the development of folk. So she's called the Aravindar Annai. Her original name before she was named the mother is Mira Alfasa, and she was born in 1878 and she lived until 1973. She is the spiritual co-founder of the Aurobindo Ashram, and she's also called as the shaper of integral yoga, and she is the founder of Aurobindo. So some information about her early life and childhood. She was born in Paris in France in 1878. Her parents were Egyptian and Turkish with the French native language, and she had lots of occult experiences, mystic experiences, spiritual transcendence, things like that right from her inner age, and she was always searching for answers. Before she came to India, she had done a lot of experimentation in France. She was married, she had kids, but for some reason she was never in gel with her married life and her life there in France. She was more tuned towards finding out the reason for her existence, finding out more about what spirituality means and inner enlightenment means. That's what she was always looking for. And in her vision, she kept getting a dark person, a dark figure who kept coming into her dream, and she used to think it was Krishna who came into her dreams. When she actually met Aurobindo, she felt like he was the person that she was seeing in her dreams. Aurobindo was her spiritual guru. They were not connected by any other means, like how we talk about Nivedita and Swami Vivekananda. Likewise, she was fascinated by Aurobindo's ashram. She came over to India and she did a lot of work with him. And when Aurobindo passed away, he handed over the Aurobindo ashram to her to run it. So that's how she set up things in India. And she had that gift of finding mystical presence right from her childhood. This is all her journey. So she starts studying about occultism in Algeria with Richard. Richard was her husband. She experiences a lot of consciousness about, this is not the life, this is different from what I need to experience. She arrives in 1914 in Pondicherry for the first time, and she meets Aurobindo and she recognizes that he is the Krishna in her visions. She returns to France and she starts collaborating with Aurobindo, but she still finds that the distance is limiting her, so she decides to move completely to India. And she returns to Pondicherry permanently, and from that time she made Pondicherry and the ashram her home. And she begins, she left her family, her kids, everybody, and she came and she starts living here as a monk by herself, living her ashram life. By 1926, Aurobindo was if you know about Aurobindo, he's not originally from Pondicherry, he's from Bengal, West Bengal, and he was an extremist in the Indian nationalist movement. He was accused of killing a British viceroy or somebody, but then there was no evidence against him, so he got acquitted. And then from then he moved on to Pondicherry and started becoming more spiritually involved into a lot of things, and that's how he set up the Aurobindo ashram. And then in 1926, Aurobindo starts moving himself from meeting people. He draws himself into seclusion, and he hands over the ashram's running and everything to the mother. So that's how mother starts taking up more work and more involvement into the ashram. And then from 1926 onwards, the ashram starts getting more and more followers. She starts getting more people into the community, and this is not any specific lineage towards Hinduism or anything like that. Every religion is accepted here. You just have to be yourself to find your inner enlightenment. They don't teach about Hinduism, they don't teach about, any religion is accepted here. You can be a person of any religion, you can follow any customs. You just need to come there to find spirituality. All that means is that you have one God. Whatever religion or the path or the faith that you take, it does not matter, but what you get is your inner enlightenment by just giving yourself to spirituality. So she starts changing the ashram's way it looks like to others. and she develops a lot of departments. So within the ashram, there are so many functioning units. They do a lot of service like agriculture. They teach crafts to people. They have medical herbs and supplements. Then they also are encouraging the Pondicherry, students to become athletes. They contribute very much towards the arts in the Pondicherry region, so and so on. So she starts developing all those aspects of the ashram to become more and more involved with people than just a spiritual place. Then what she also did is she constructed the tomb, which is part of the global pilgrimage. So a lot of people start coming to the ashram to visit the tomb of the Aurobindo. And then she writes a lot of works. She's known for a lot of works, and inside the ashram you'll find a big library which houses a lot of her works. So she writes a lot of letters. She has conversations when people cannot visit. At that time, most of the literature work was through letters, right? So a lot of, like, even Rabindranath Tagore, Jawaharlal Nehru, and then even Mahatma Gandhi, we see a lot of these letters as responses and these things, right? So like the same way, Mother also starts writing, letters to her devotees. When people come to her with problems, she gives her a handwritten response to them. So those kind of things starts bringing more and more people into the ashram to seek her, her blessings, to be able to speak to her, have a conversation, and have their own, doubts clarified. And then she also started introducing days where she will come out. So there is inside the ashram is her living quarters. There is a window on the top, just like how you see in Vatican City in Pope, he comes out of a window and he waves and gives darshan. Likewise, very similar to that, she has darshan days, and in that she comes out. I haven't seen her because she passed away in 1970s at the beginning. And so there are darshan days where she would open the window and people would be able to see her. Even seeing her was feeling like a lot of good positivity and energy to a lot of people. So she used to have darshan days, which is not something that Aurobindo used to do. He just created an ashram. He lived there by himself. She changed the way the ashram looked after his death. And then she started establishing a new place called Aurobindo. The reason why she established Aurobindo is because the ashram was becoming more and more towards just a smaller place. She wanted to create an entire community where people could live together despite differences in religion and gender and faith and everything, right? So she wanted to create a place where it is an international community. They are not bound by any local rules or regulations, but just bound by their own faith and discipline in which they work. So that's how Aurobindo came to be founded. And today everybody knows about Aurobindo, right? What it establishes for. It's a unity of people amongst the different races and faith and caste, no color, no caste, no creed, nothing, right? No discrimination. People there are very disciplined. They come there on their own. They live a very, very disciplined life. It's very, very, very self-driven, so that's the kind of life that she wanted to create a community of people with. So she created Aurobindo. So basically, Mother's vision for Aurobindo is what is given here. Aurobindo wants to be a universal town where men and women of all countries are able to live with peace and progressive harmony above all creeds, all politics, and all nationalities. The purpose of Aurobindo is to realize human unity. So that's basically her vision behind creating Aurobindo. So today, if you see Aurobindo, you get more than 50,000 visitors a year. There are more than 3,000 residents out of 60 different countries. It's in under Pondicherry and under Indian laws, but it exists on its own by itself. And these are the different ways in which she was teaching about, her writings were more focused on yoga. She has something called Words of the Mother, which is like this book that I have. Then she also had education of life, because she starts saying that everybody should be educated spirituality and your own consciousness right from your childhood. It cannot come later. You have to start nurturing it from the childhood. So that's basically her philosophy. And then she has written about how physical transformation, how yoga transforms your body and also your mental state. She has written a lot about those as well. And she says something about supramental consciousness, like you're in the being, but you're still, enlightened or alert of what is happening in the background and also in the foreground. So that's basically her consciousness. The consciousness not in the present, but you'd also realize your past and also have a way towards your future. So your consciousness is being present in all the three times. That's basically her concept of supramental consciousness is. So like that's why you say when you do something, a deed, it actually takes back to your ancestors and also is helpful to your future generations. That's how we should do everything. So that's basically supramental consciousness means. And in the last final years, she withdrew from public view, and she was not giving any darshans or anything, but she just devoted her life to writing about yogic work and transformation of how your body cells still remain active in the universe, which is called seeing the supramental consciousness. And she at the age of 95, she passed away, and her Mahasamadhi, that's the picture of her Mahasamadhi, where we go and pray. It's complete silence. All we do is just go pray, and there is a box there in front of her Samadhi where you can write letters to her and you can put it inside. And what the ashram does is they respond to every single letter that is put in the box. So you get back some flowers from her Samadhi, and they also give you a picture of the Aurobindo Annai and Aurobindo. So it comes to you as a post. So you have to write a letter about whatever you're feeling with your address and everything. You put it in the post box, and you will invariably get this letter back from her ashram saying that she's hearing you and everything, right? So it's kind of feels a little bit of a validation to what you are going through, right? Somebody is hearing you out. There is always a mother. I think there was somebody who said that, Sharadamba said that, right? In times of distress, always remember you have a mother. That's basically what she is also trying to propagate, saying that if you're in distress, think about it, sit down, meditate, you will find the answers yourself, and that's how it came to be. So this is what she calls her as Jiva Samadhi, and this year every 17th November is celebrated every year in the ashram as a day of remembrance. And these are all her different things, her collecting works. This is all her legacy that she's carrying forward, and the ashram is continuing to host it. And a little bit of, there was a Kavi Yogi, Suddhananda Bharati. Of course, everybody in Tampa knows about it. Gopalan Mama talks so much about his guru, who is Kavi Yogi Suddhananda Bharati. He spent many years, 23 years, between 1925 and 1950 in the Aurobindo ashram. He was spending Maunam, silence, a vow of silence, and he was in seclusion in the Aurobindo ashram, and he was so deeply influenced by Aurobindo and the mother. He has written a lot of songs during this time, which we all know about. Yenakena Manakavalai and Tai Kandro, if you've heard of those songs. That's all about spiritual mother. So this is Kavi Yogi Suddhananda Bharati, that's his picture. So there was also other yogis who got influenced by the Aurobindo ashram and the way of their living, that they came and lived there by themselves. So this is one of the examples of that. And I want to finish it with this. So this is the picture of her, the mother, and this is Aurobindo and the Annai. This is also in my puja room as well. So wherever you are in this world, mother is always there to protect you and guide you. So just think of the mother. So whatever be the form, that's basically her saying. Thank you so much.